Skelethrone, the Chronicles of Ericona was developed by 70 Strike and published by Valkyrie Initiative, and I want to give a special thank you to them for giving me a code for the game. Skelethrone is a 2D pixelated Dark Souls style Metroidvania, including all the things that you would find in both Metroidvanias and in Dark Souls games. Now in this game you can obviously run, jump, roll, hack and slash, block and use special attacks to just get around and knock enemies out. Of course it starts off very basic, but I'll get to that in a moment. You find and equip new weapons and armor pieces. The game does not tell you where to go, you have to explore, so that's a plus for people that do enjoy those kind of games that don't hold their hand, just like Dark Souls game for the most part. Now you collect essence from killing enemies and finding it also in jars and on bodies and strewn about the place, and this essence is then used to level up, choosing which stats to increase, one per level of course, and you utilize bonfires to do said leveling up and fast traveling. Very Dark Souls. But of course, and also to coincide with that, when you die, you lose your essence in the point where you died. You return then to a previous checkpoint, which can also be these lanterns that you can light, and then you've got to get back to your essence to collect it. But if you die before you get there, then of course you've lost all your essence, and then you've got to go and, you know, just cry in a corner somewhere or sit in a shower fully clothed and cry. Now the enemies are also, they respawn as well when you rest at the old bonfire gizmos too, so you can obviously see the mass inspiration here. Now you do unlock new abilities for traversal by defeating bosses and whatnot, exactly the same as other Metroidvania games, and the bosses are pretty cool for the most part. And you find and collect essence shards to enhance your artifact by using skill points in the knowledge tree to increase stamina, health, strength, etc., that kind of thing. And these essence shards are hidden off screen, more often in secret areas, so you got to go and find them. Now the art style is pretty decent with its pixelated stuff. A lot of people seem to have beef with stuff in the foreground, so there's obviously a lot of stuff moving in the background, but there is, like, people have called it clutter in the foreground, and that seems to be its only main negative from people. It personally doesn't bother me, and I think it adds a lot of depth to the game, as it is a 2D game, so it doesn't bother me whatsoever. You know, then the world setting is obviously very bleak, and which is the design, but does fit in with the tone of what they're trying to do with the game. Now you play as a skeleton that's effectively raised from the dead, and then you go off to better yourself, defeat bosses and discover NPCs. The world is huge and there is plenty to explore, and with those NPCs as well, some of them are obviously vendors too, there's plenty here for you to discover. It does have a decent challenge, and I only have a couple of gripes with the game personally, and the first is that the highest resolution for the game is 720p, which is a little annoying, and the other is that the stamina bar drains far too quickly for my liking, especially early on when you find larger weapons like claymores or whatnot. You only get like one swing with it and your stamina bar is gone, and then you've got to wait for it to run away from the enemy, wait for it to replenish, go back, swing once again. So the first weapon you pick up is like a broken blade, and I pretty much used that for a good long while until I found a decent longsword, because it just seemed to be any other weapon I used besides the broken blade, my character was suddenly just turned into an asthmatic and just couldn't maintain attacking continuously, which is annoying. Other than that, though, Skelethrone is a pretty cool Metroidvania Dark Souls-like game. It has a healthy amount of Steam achievements, with there being 44 of them, and it's Steam Deck verified, and I can confirm does play very well on the Steam Deck, and of course has the old Steam Cloud capability, which is massively important for these kind of games. Also, the game is priced, its maximum price is £11.39, but it always goes on offer for about £7 to £8 here in the UK, which I think is a great price for the game. It's got great reviews from other people who have played it. You can get a complete edition which comes with soundtrack and art book if you're interested in that kind of thing, but as far as indie Metroidvanias go, with some Dark Souls-esque, well, not some, a lot of Dark Souls-esque stuff in it, Skelethrone is pretty decent, and I think it's worth picking up, definitely. But please let me know in the comments down below if you checked this game out, or if you haven't, please give it a look. There is a demo that you can download on Steam, so always check out the demos as well. Demos are a fantastic idea for games, and again, thank you very much to the developers for giving me a code, and as always, thank you very much for watching.